Hello everybody. Today we are going to be doing a little something with this. Some fabrication. See what I did there? All right, so today what am I looking for? Today we are going to attempt to redo some of the interior, I don't know, accent pieces, I guess you could call them. So you can see we have no door panels. We took off the door panels and everything. The door panels are over here. Now the reason for that, these are a little dusty and ashy because California is still kind of on fire. So these are a little dusty and ashy, but these are clean. So we're keeping these stock. What we're actually doing is these here accent trims. These guys go right here. They kind of offset the color of the door panel. These are wrapped in some old like corduroy type, very dated looking fabric. So our plan is I picked up this fabric off of eBay, like remanufactured Recaro fabric. Yeah, so it looks pretty good. I went with black. They make like the faded stuff, like the bride style gradient. I'm not really a fan of it. It looked a little cheesy, especially that it's Recaro. I just kind of wanted this to be a little bit of a switch up and flair than just doing black fabric. Obviously, only from certain angles you could actually see the Recaro logos. So I think that'll look really cool. I don't know if I want to do like angled logos or if I want to do them straight, but we'll figure that out. It shouldn't be too bad. I am a little concerned that this fabric's kind of thick, so it'll be hard to fold over these edges like how this one is, but we'll deal with that when we get there. My basic plan is I'm just gonna lay out the fabric. Oh, before I get ahead of myself, we also have these guys, which are speaker block-offs. Speaker covers normally on the non-SIs or the non-powered cars, the non-powered windows, powered stuff, powered radio, stuff like that. They have rear speakers, and these are the block-off covers for the rear panels to block off where the speakers would have gone if you had speakers. So I think we're gonna wrap these two. I'm pretty much just gonna lay out this fabric, unfold it, make some markings, trace it out, cut it, and then I need to reflatten this guy out because it's a little dented and bent and stuff. It's just like a piece of sheet metal. Spray adhesive it and then slap it on there, and hopefully it'll look good. So let's try this out. All right, so I have confirmed that all the pieces will actually fit with how much fabric I have. I have plenty more just in case I mess up one or two. So that's really good. So now I'm gonna go ahead and pull off this old fabric. Let's do it. Also, I went ahead and put the fabric on the floor so it could flatten out because it's kind of creased from shipping. That's why the tables are empty.
Hey, yo, lesson here, baby.
Alrighty, I've gone ahead and gotten rid of the original fabric, peeled it off. You can see there's still old glue on here, but as long as it's nice and smooth, I think the fabric is thick enough to where it won't show any imprints. So I'm actually gonna flip it over because it has these little tabs. I went ahead and straightened out and bent upwards the tabs. And then I have this sheet metal roller. Well, actually this one's for Dynamat or Brown Bread, or if you've ever built any sound system and you need to put like heavy soundproofing in the car so it doesn't rattle. This is for smoothing that out. This should work pretty well. If not, you could probably just bang this out with a hammer, with like a soft-ended hammer, and get it nice and flat. But so yeah, I'm just gonna go in and roll this guy out and get it nice and smooth. After a few passes, I got it looking pretty straight. You can see it's kind of hard to tell in the fisheye. It's looking pretty good. Obviously, I can't really get it perfect, but that little UPS truck, you kind of see there, it's pretty good, nice and straight, or at least better than it was before. Obviously, I can't get it perfect. I don't have the tools to do that. I don't have any like crazy bead roller or flattener or rotary machine or anything, but that looks pretty good to me. That's just lighting. It's all one flat plane now. I don't know if I want to use this. I might use this as a guide for how much extra material to cut around, but I'm gonna be quite generous with it. So I'm gonna pull up the fabric over here, and I'm gonna trace around this shape, and then I'm gonna cut it out. I have the panel laid here on the fabric. Originally, I was gonna be a little careful with how the logos are spaced out and such, but I actually think I'm gonna go for the more character look. Not gonna be too specific on that, because I actually think having the logos different spaced on the left to the right and the rear to the front. Having them all different kind of gives it a little bit more character. And again, the logos are black with black background. It's just the weave direction is different. So from certain angles, you can't even see the logos. And that's kind of what I wanted. Something you'd normally want to do, if you do any type of sewing or upholstery or make clothes or anything, normally you want to mark it out with chalk or a white pencil. I don't have that with me right now, and I don't really feel like raiding my mom's sewing kit, so blue Sharpie should do just fine. It's a dark enough fabric, and it's going to be folded over anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and go in and trace this guy around. I'll probably leave maybe an inch worth of spare material. That way I could always cut less. And just in case it frays, which it might, have room to burn shrink it or something like that. So we're now in my hallway. I wasn't too satisfied with the creasing and how the crease is laid out after laying the fabric out. I was a little concerned that it would show up after we sprayed the spray adhesive. Afraid it wouldn't stick, so I'm gonna go in with the iron out these creases, and then we can lay it. We are nice and smooth now, no more crease here. It's on top of the thing, so that's why it's all warped. Now is a good time to kind of mock over your foldovers and see how much excess fabric, and if you need to make any relief cuts. In terms of sticking, I will be using, nope, that's paint stripper. Here we go. I will be using 3M general purpose 45. I've used this for everything. It's general purpose. It's not too intense. It's not like a weld bond, so it doesn't melt the two materials. It's actually safe for pretty much everything. I've used this on headliners, door panels, door trims, everything. Should be good. Also, side note, if you're doing this yourself and you want to iron your fabric, depending what kind of material it is, this one it's a little plasticky, so I recommend keeping it on low heat, low steam, or no steam at all. That way you just don't risk melting your fabric. Okay, so now I have reduced my original cut by about an inch. That way it'll make it easier for me to wrap this around. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take the spray adhesive, spray this side, spray that side. Oh, I've also cut out little holes here for where that correspond here. That way later on it's easier to punch them out. Instead of using an X-Acto knife, I could use scissors, fabric scissors, so it's easier to cut. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, spray it, flip it, and lay it right here. Alrighty, apologies if I just did a terrible job at filming that. I was trying to work quickly so the glue didn't dry too much and I didn't have to keep adding layers of spray adhesive. It was pretty easy. Obviously we had about an inch of bare fabric at the end from when we cut it out. So I just sprayed those edges with one long bead of spray adhesive along with getting the metal while I was at it. Then I folded the corners first and then folded the sides over it. That way you get a nice little curve like this. Did the same over here. Same over here, and same over here. I was really worried that the edges wouldn't stick, but that 3M adhesive stuff is no joke. It stood no chance. It's just nice and sticky, and it's not lifting whatsoever, and it doesn't look like it will in the future either. Flipping it over, that's what we look like, nice and black and clean. Obviously it was on the floor, so it's a little dirty, but you can see our little holes punched out or marked out for where we need a cut for the door pull and the handle and the window crank. All that's over there. Luckily I didn't get any bubbles. It was pretty easy to lay, laid out pretty flat. See, certain angles got the Recaro, and then certain angles it just disappears. That's sick. I'm very happy with how that looks. Very, very happy. And it wasn't too hard of a job either. If you're doing this yourself, it's definitely possible. Just make sure you have some fabric. I'm very happy with how that looks. If you're doing this yourself, I would definitely recommend having two surfaces. One surface to spray on and one surface to work with your material. Obviously I was caught in a pinch. That's why it would have been nice just to flip this over and start folding over the edges, but I couldn't do that because I just sprayed my adhesive on this paper, so it got all sticky. So if I were to flip it over, it would just pull up on this fabric and be all gross. So that's why I had to do it on the floor. Again, if you do this yourself, have two surfaces. one to work with and manipulate your material and one to spray the actual adhesive. Let's go mock it up real quick. Obviously these pins are all folded up, so it's not going to sit flush as of now, but boom, something like that. Something like that. That looks pretty good. Nice and black, fitting. I was gonna say it looked like we had a little crease in the middle. I could always go back and roll it out with the sheet metal roller again to get it nice and flat. That's what our door panel is gonna look like. Obviously the door panel's not cleaned right now, and this stuff is loose. It needs to be tucked, but you kind of get an idea of what it looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side, and we're gonna do the same thing for our speaker covers. Again, it's all a lot of the same, just peeling off the old cover, getting all the old adhesive off, cutting out our fabric, ironing the new fabric, make sure everything's flat, spray some adhesive on there, and lay the fabric on top. And then you have your beautiful finished product, like that. And if there's any adjustments you need to make, it's sticky, so while it's still fresh, you could always try to work the corners in a little bit more. Very happy with how that looks. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys end up doing this yourself or you do your own custom upholstery, please let me know how it goes. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, a wonderful week. That should be good. We got plenty of content coming soon. We got bi-weekly videos, at least 2 a week. So I hope you guys are enjoying a lot of content for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed. TZ on me, TZ on 3, 1, 2, 3, TZ. Peace.